Good evening, everybody.
How you doing?
All right, we're back. Ready.
David Moore, Dallas Morning News. Uncharacteristic number of penalties for you guys. I think 5 with the one that was offsetting. Can you just talk about whether it was communication issues or what it was yesterday with those?
Let me talk about each one specifically.
If you want, or however you want to characterize them as a group, because there was a trend or whatever.
Yeah, the first one wasn't a penalty. So the opening kickoff, they incorrectly said that we can only have a max of 9 in the front line. That's not correct. You have to have a minimum of 9. So we had 10 bodies up in the setup zone, which is perfectly legal. They said CJ has to move back out of the setup zone. I said, no, he doesn't. It's part of the one that wrote the rules. And then they told him to move back, and I told him to move back up because that was part of the return. And then the ball got kicked, and I was certain they wouldn't throw a flag because 10 were allowed in the setup zone. They threw the flag, and they came back a few minutes later and said that they were wrong. So that wasn't a penalty, even though it was flagged. We had another illegal formation on Marquise on a kickoff. I have the clicker. He went right when he caught it. It was a perfect get off. So that was frustrating. It was a touchback also. The lateral looked like it was forward, so that's a good call. We worked hard on that. And we knew it was going to be close just because of the speed. We talked about, should we hand it off, should we toss it? It was too high speed to hand it off, so we went with the toss. But we worked hard on that, but we knew it was going to be close and a tough one. Offsetting one was just football players being football players. I don't have a problem with it. I think we got to fight. Part of our deal is getting tough, getting ornery, not taking nothing from nobody. So I respected, whenever our returner goes down, we're going to get our blockers over there to clear the piles out to help Turpin up because we've been stepped over before and we're not going to get stepped over again. And so that's kind of part of the territory of playing the game we want to play. And then the one Brandon had, I told him to be aggressive. You can put that on me. I said, I want you to hit a line drive ball that hits in the landing zone and makes it hard to handle. And we just came up about 2 yards short of that. So, I think every penalty in itself is, you got to look at each one how it is. I'm very encouraged with the combativeness that we're playing with, and I think that's going to come with a little bit of the territory. But it was frustrating, no doubt about it. The opening one where they flagged us for illegal formation, which it wasn't. The illegal formation on kickoff on Marquise, which I would argue that it wasn't. And then the offsetting penalties is part of the game.
Clarence Hill, City Dallas. How long have you been working on that thing with CJ, and what was he supposed to do? Was he supposed to just go back deeper, or?
Yeah, we were working on it for a couple of weeks. We were going to use it against Detroit, but we didn't because it just wasn't the time for it. So we've been working on it for a couple of weeks. We worked on it in training camp, to be honest with you, too. But it's so hard to simulate exactly in practice because the distance of the kick, the direction of the kick, the angles. We want a Terp to get up and then kind of flatten it off and CJ bow behind. Next time I'll probably hand it off, to be honest with you, just so that doesn't happen because we knew it was going to be close. It's hard to be running full speed this way and throw it behind you because of physics, I guess. So that'll be part of our game plan. And we showed Antonio Brown against Tennessee, 15 years ago on the reverse for touchdown that got handed off, but ours was much higher speed than the Antonio Brown reverse. So we'll look at different ways to keep that in the arsenal, but make sure we're clean. And honestly, I'm kicking myself in the because I probably called that one play too late.
John Todd Archer, the ESPN. How challenging was the Aubrey situation last week, if it was at all?
It actually wasn't for us. It was for Brandon because he spent from 8 o'clock in the morning till 5:30 in the afternoon in jury duty. It was an hour and a half break. Then he drove from Fort Worth, and it took him, he said, about an hour and 20 minutes with traffic to get here. So by the time he got here, we got started kicking. It was dark, and it was 7:15 maybe. So we got our work done Wednesday and Thursday, doing what we had to do, and much respect for him knowing what he had to do. And so the kicker missing the meetings and the practice, we can get around that. He just needed to get a swing in, and he got it done. And I just thought fate would have it that it'd come down to a game tie or a game winner, and we could, point to the work he put in on his own as being a factor in that, but it didn't work out that way. But I was proud of him for handling that week. As far as I know, he's not done yet.
Was there anything that pregame, did he have to change anything of?
Nope.
What, everything was?
Nope, everything was the same. Yep. And
Oh, just going back to the original kickoff. So when did they, I'm just curious as to the mechanics of how they came to you later and said, and you know, New York buzzed them down.
Yeah.
But how did that all transpire?
yeah, it was my 20th year in the NFL, and that was the first one. So we got lined up, and we're ready to play the game, and the official came up and said, "Hey, you're illegal." And I looked and I counted 10, and I said 1, and I said, "No, we're good." And he goes, "No, you have too many guys on the front." And I'm like, "No, we don't. We have 10. We're good." And he goes, "No, 29 has to move back." And I said, "He can't. If he has to move back, he's got to go all the way back." And he told them to move back, and I told CJ to move up. And I just didn't think they'd throw a flag. And then I had it.
Talking to you?
Yeah, afterward, yeah. So they threw the flag, and
Not initially, what he said.
initially, I can't remember exactly what happened. I said, we've done this the last 3 weeks, so have you watched the film? And they said yes. And I said, well, haven't you seen us go 10-man front? And they said no. And then, gosh, it must have been after the first series, we punted it, and he came back over, and they had New York on their little headphones, and they said that they got back from New York and said that it's okay to have 10 on the front. And that's when I said, I know it's okay to have 10 on the front. So yeah, it's just one of those games. It's like, man, from the very start, it's like, damn, But I made some mistakes in the game too. So the officials do, and I certainly did. I didn't feel like I had my best game, putting guys in certain spots and calling the calls at the right time. So there's no excuses or no blame by any means. It's just kind of part of the game. It's a frustrating one where it's like a simple alignment thing. It's like, come on, man, you cost us 5 yards. And our players are sitting there in the huddle, and they're hearing all this too. So they're like, what's going on? What's going on? And we're just trying to kick the ball off. So we'll keep getting all that stuff right. It's a fantastic play, and there's still clearly 8 weeks into it some nuances that everybody's still getting in tune with. So yeah, we'll keep working on it too, because we got a long ways to go too. And the play's getting better. The play's heating up. You can see from opponent kick returns that people are starting to figure some stuff out.
Replay assist can't jump in on that and fix it?
I don't know. After the fact, I don't think they can throw a flag. I don't think they can pick up a flag. I'll have to check on that. There's certain things you can put a flag down. Yeah, I'm gonna stay away from that one. I'll stay on the special teams questions.
Hunter Dixon with the AP. Obviously, there were conversations with New York during the game. After that, and then the one where you thought he didn't leave early, do you have your own conversation with New York this week to just sort of make sure everybody knows what's going on, or you just kind of let it go?
Every week, we turn a few plays in, whether it's just questions like, what do you think about this? I had a question about on their field goal block, they went over the top of one of our guys, didn't leverage, so it was illegal over the top, but they landed on the back of one of our guards. That's a player safety thing, so we had a little bit of an ankle there. But probably have a conversation. I mean, it's a real simple one. It's like, come on, that's a pretty simple one. But we turn in plays every week, and there'll be a few that we turned in just on that. The alignment on us on kick return, and then the illegal formation, which really isn't offsides on kickoff. So those will be discussed, and be good conversations. Won't be argumentative. I'll just say, hey, what do you guys think? And let's make sure we're on the same page with some of these things.
And then I think the Aubrey penalty on the line drive kick, obviously they got the ball at the 40, and then I think the pitch penalty was on the next kickoff. So they get the ball at the 40, you all end up at the 11. Do you find yourself kind of kicking yourself over that, or is that just kind of the growing pains of this new kickoff thing?
No, I'm kicking myself over that for sure, because field position is crucial in a game like that. When it's a one-score game, you look back like, man, we gave them the ball at the 40 once, and we had the ball at the 32, and it got kicked back to the 11. So those are absolutely things that I look back on and beat myself up over for sure. They kicked the ball off out of bounds one time, so I feel like that evened out maybe one drive start. But still, to put our defense, on a short field and our offense on a long field, that's part of the special teams coach's job to make sure that the field position is at worst even. And on those sequences, it wasn't. So, yeah, I kicked myself in the ass for some of those decisions I make, and that's what keeps me up at night, but keeps me coming back for sure.
You're still enjoying the kickoff stuff.
Oh, absolutely. It's way better than just putting the ball at 25 and nothing happened.